this episode, we will go through the Tunnel of Love. We will find a boatyard in the jungle, sail to Shelter Bay, fix a few things, and swap our batteries again. Ugh, typical.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey, along for the ride. Ho, hey, I'll stay by your side. Ho, hey, you.
So we've arrived in Linton Bay, and we just took the dinghy into Linton Bay Marina just to make some inquiries about prices and get some fuel for the dinghy. I've got to say, it wasn't the most friendly reception we've ever had. I mean, it looks quite a downbeat sort of place, and the first thing they said is, we need $6 for the dinghy dock. I said, well, we've actually come in to inquire about bringing our boat in. They said, still, you've got to pay $6. I said, well, can we at least get some fuel? And they said, well, you have to drive it around the dinghy dock. So we had to drive round to the dinghy dock to get some fuel before we could actually go and inquire about prices. So, and the most miserable looking fuel attendant we've ever had to deal with. But anyway, we're now going to do a bit of exploring. Apparently there's something called the Tunnel of Love over there, which is a drive, sort of a tunnel through the mangroves into another marina around here. And apparently there's an island with monkeys on it, which are also very unfriendly. So we're a bit curious. So we heard that there was this tunnel known as the Tunnel of Love going between two bays, and so we took the Tunnel of Love between the two bays, and it was quite entertaining as we came through. Something that we haven't experienced in Suriname, I think.
This is a bit like Suriname. So here's the mangroves that we can see. We don't want to go too close because of the snakes.
Propeller on the mangroves.
This is actually quite cool, isn't it? This is called the Tunnel of Love. We turn the engine off and it's really quiet. There's a little bit of a current that's drifting us down. But yeah, it's wild in here. The roots are really amazing from these mangroves. It's unbelievable.
And then we came into this kind of other bay, and there was other boats anchored, and then we saw that there was a clearing with a dinghy parked outside, so we drove towards that and then parked up and walked up the path a little bit, and then it opens out into this boatyard basically. So this we think is Panamarina. Panama Marina. So this is a boatyard literally in the jungle, in the mangrove swamps, with loads of boats and liveaboards kind of working on their boats. And it's kind of Mad Max meets Mosquito Coast, because there's all these kind of boats in various state of repair and degradation. Some people working on them, and obviously some of them have been abandoned for a very long time. But it's pretty wild. There's a guy behind me selling vegetables from the back of a truck.
That
Jungle apple.
so delicious.
Mosquito Town. This is basically North America. No, South America. It's just mosquitoes love it here. I don't know what's wrong with this place, but yeah, this is where they spend vacation.
There's kind of like a little cafe area and a little workshop, a little metal workshop as well. So we're just checking it out really. Maybe an option to fix our boat up before we go through the Panama Canal.
A lot of this stuff reminds me of Suriname, like walking along and looking at the mangroves, and this is like the calabash tree as well. And we learned how to make different things out of the calabash. You can make bowls, and you can make light shades. So yeah, there's a whole process which you can see in one of our old videos, but it's really weird seeing the tree here. Look how big that one is, Darry.
But
That'd be nice.
I think you could go crazy in a place like this. Just surrounded by jungle.
We're heading out of the mangroves now. We've got to get through this tricky bit where there's sort of a reef, and you've got to do this funny kind of sort of S shape to get out. So hopefully these two are going to look out for the shallows for me.
So we've left Linton Bay. We had a little explore, but now we've got a lovely downwind sail all the way to Shelter Bay. I've just inquired about the batteries, and apparently they are in Shelter Bay. They just need to clear customs. So we're going to maybe check in for a week, go to Panama City, pick my dad up because he's flying into Panama City and he's going to be staying with us for Christmas, and then we've got to wave goodbye to all of our friends who've basically been with us all the way from Curacao. So that'll be a sort of a bittersweet week for us.
Waves, sail, mizzen sail, slow wind.
As we approach the Panama Canal, suddenly there's loads, like hundreds of boats come up on the AIS. Obviously all cargo ships and tankers either coming out of the Panama Canal or queuing up to go in. And we're just starting to see a couple on the horizon now.
Okay, so we're just coming up to the entrance to the Panama Canal. Actually, it's quite a way away. Yeah, it's still how many miles? Probably about 2 miles away. But yeah, this is where all these massive cargo ships, I guess they're waiting for their slot to go through the canal, or they've just come through the canal and they're waiting to head on their journey. But they're huge, and I know we pass a lot of them anyway, but you know, going in between them, it reminds me of some of the places we've been, like Gibraltar. There was a lot of these, you had to kind of dodge them. So they're full of shipping containers, like piled high onto these ships. It's really weird.
There are 15 tankers.
You've been counting them, Ewan?
There are tractors on there. There are 6 tractors on that cargo ship.
You know, one thing that occurs to me when you see all of these massive cargo ships just piled high with container after container is the amount of stuff that the human race uses. It gets transported from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet, and I can imagine 90% of it is probably like not exactly necessary for survival, really. I know it's a bit of a sceptical view on the matter, but honestly the amount of stuff that we have in the modern world is ridiculous, I think.
Woody, the sail's unfurling. Okay, with our mainsail, always the worst one. I hate getting the main out because, you know, there's always problems with those furlers, and it's not the outhaul this time, it's the one that actually winds it around the foil, and that stopped working suddenly. To be quite honest, I think it's been slowing down for a while. So, you know, maybe it's just the brush on it, which, you know, I'm becoming an expert on now, but it's really annoying. We're kind of dodging through these tankers, and I haven't really got much room for movement here, and I can't get the, you know, I can't get the main furled away, and we're kind of heading just off, heading straight for a tanker. It's not nice. Okay, so we managed to get it away manually. It's quite good because it's quite quick to do that bit manually, but it's always nerve-wracking, you know. I suppose it's just another problem to be solved. That's what life's about on this boat, or any boat.
So on this passage we've had one furler go down and one jib sheet cargo go down.
is mothership, over.
Okay, we've had permission to enter the Breakwater into the Panama Canal, so this is the first entrance to the Panama Canal. But obviously we're not going through the Panama Canal, we're just going to hang a starboard turn and go to Shelter Bay Marina.
We're going through the entrance, the kind of breakwater of the Panama Canal, and we're not allowed to obviously get in the way of any other boats, so we're trying to go as quick as possible because this tanker behind looks like it's going pretty fast.
The pilot boat.
There's a pilot boat coming out to meet it, so we're just trying to skip in before we get in their way.
It's quite choppy out here. It's a big entrance and there's lots of big boats around, but I think we're in the clear. We've just been told not to interfere with any of the other traffic.
It reminds me of going into Malta, but it's a lot different because actually we have our engine working. We didn't have our engine working when we came into Malta. We got towed in by the pilot vessel.
This line.
Whatever's easy to handle. We can always swap them over later.
We finally arrived in Shelter Bay and we were just in time for the cruiser's net. The cruiser's net is something where all the cruisers say any jokes, anything that is happening that day, or basically anything.
Contact Ronho or the office if you have any emergencies. New, or if you are leaving, say new leaving and we'll come back to you. Check-ins.
Good morning from Cinnamon Teal.
Threshold, Stephen Carrot.
This is the Wood family on Mothership.
Mum had to get the cruising permit so we could go around Panama.
One of those admin days, which is fine, I don't mind admin days, but I just find it really difficult when the internet, the Wi-Fi is really slow.
Dad had a lot of repairs to do.
So now we've got the jib sheet car off, I can take it to the welder and hopefully get that bit welded back on. I took the jib sheet car over to the boatyard, and there's kind of in the corner there's a van with a couple of guys with welding equipment, but other than that I think they're quite low on equipment. And what I really needed to do was get a bench drill to drill the back of the jib sheet car to knock the pin through, but they haven't even got that. So I've watched them for about half an hour and was just grimacing, so I've just kind of left it over there with them in the hope that they can sort that out, and I hope they don't break it. The multi-plus charger's turned up with the master bus and a few other things here. It's been quite a logistic journey to try and get it here because we had to have it shipped in from Miami through a company called Marine Warehouse, and they've actually brought it straight to the boat. Fantastic, I didn't expect that to happen. The only thing that hasn't arrived is the batteries, which I'm a bit worried about, so I need to get in touch with the courier and find out what's happened to them. Our batteries arrived today from Marine Warehouse, thanks to Arturo and Jesus, who delivered them straight to the boat, which was incredible since they've come all the way from Miami. Now we've got the electrician booked in today and we can hopefully get them fitted. But the electrician should have been here about 40 minutes ago and he still hasn't arrived, so now I'm going to go and chase that up. But stupidly, we hired them without getting a quote first. Shelter Bay were charging $75 an hour with an estimated time of 4 days. This is Marco. Hi Marco.
Yeah, hi.
He's just taking out the old new batteries. Now bearing in mind this was just a straight battery swap out and installing a charger. So as soon as I found this out, I quickly dispatched these services and decided to do the install myself. So everything's happened at once. We've sold the green batteries and the Victron batteries have turned up, and in the midst of installing them we've heard from Battleborn that they're sending lithium batteries. We couldn't have wished for better batteries really. It's exactly what we would have wished for in the first place. We still need to install the Victrons because it's going to take several weeks for the Battleborns to get here. What we'll do is we'll install them for now and keep them nice and healthy, and then sell them on when the Battleborn batteries get here. We got the bill back for this weld yesterday, and it came in $306, but basically is a 2-inch weld. So I've been up to Edwin, the manager, the boatyard manager, and obviously disputed it, and we tried to find the welder to ask him why it cost so much, and he can't be found anywhere. And Edwin said he'd send him down in an hour, and that was 2 hours ago. So still haven't heard anything, but I'm not going to let it lie because that is a complete rip-off.
So basically, if you want to get work done here, you can get it done. They'll find everyone you need, but the problem is it's really expensive, because that puts you off doing any work here basically. Because it's a nice marina, it's a great marina, but I think the amount of money they're putting on top, and they're also charging you for more hours than you actually need necessarily.
While Mum and Dad were doing their jobs, all our friends were doing marine biology with us.
Well, I think they do because they're killer whales.
So if the females live to 90, did it say how many babies they have in their lifetime?
No, I didn't with that one. Okay. I did it with Arinka.
And we also did a beach clean. Then we got to enjoy the nice, relaxing pool. So it's the evening. A potluck is when cruisers bring their food to share. They chat and share information and connect. In the next episode, we travel on a funky bus to Panama City and we go pick up our lovely Grandad. And we go show Grandad some really cool wrecks.
Thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to our patrons for keeping this journey going. If you want to give something back and want to be a part of our patron family, then follow the description in the link below, or put Mothership Adrift Patreon, and that should send you to the right link. You can become a patron from as little as $3 and you can be in contact with us directly. Thank you.
You and me, we're family.
And finally, don't forget to subscribe and also check out our other channel, which is dedicated to fixing your boat, called Mothership Maintenance.
Hey, you'll always be alright by me. Yes, you're alright.
GoPro, turn off. GoPro,
Good job keeping
turn
it where it needed to be.
off.
Just barely. We were just kept on the edge.